Hey, I'm Dr. Jordin Wiggins, naturopathic doctor, author of The Pink Canary, and founder of the Pleasure Collective. I work with high-achieving women who've spent their lives earning love, success, even sex. The truth that I wish every woman knew is what makes you successful in your career is killing your intimacy. You don't have to earn good sex and fulfillment. You just deserve it. This is the podcast where we stop striving and start receiving. You've already mastered the high achiever energy. Check the boxes, crush the goals, build the empire. You hold it all together. But inside, you're tired, numb, you're craving connection that actually fuels you. This is why I teach high achievers to become receivers by walking down the pleasure path. And the goal? It's not just better sex. It's not just rest. It's pleasure-centered relationships where both partners are deeply met in and out of the bedroom. This isn't about quick fixes or performative intimacy. It's telling you the truth that you need to hear about your health, sex, and relationships to reclaim your turn on and create a relationship and a life that nourishes you. This is the Pleasure Principles podcast. This episode is going to hit everywhere it should. We're talking about something that is finally having a moment in the media again. I've been a proponent of it for a long time, and I usually get a lot of eye rolls from clients, but the media is talking about it. Fingering. Yes, I said it. The technical term is manual stimulation. But before you roll your eyes or before you skip, hear me out. Because there's the reason why everyone was doing it in high school and at the beginning of relationships. In fact, in high school, we called it finger blasting. That actually, my pelvic floor contracts when I say that. If you can think of any terms that you called fingering or manual stimulation, please DM me on Instagram because I would love to hear. So before the pressure, before the performance, before the checkbox sex, lots of what we were doing before we were even having penetrative sex. Some of us from religious upbringing, sex is bad, don't do it. But a lot of what we were doing back then, what we would consider foreplay now, works better for female pleasure and arousal cycle than the checkbox sex that leads to P&V and attempting at a mutual orgasm. You want more sex? Start with more fingering. Okay, I say that kind of joking, but stick with me because it's true and you'll see why. Let's ground this in what I know about you. You're a high-achieving woman. You crush it in your career. You're dependable. You lead, you plan, you perform, you fix. You fix a lot of things. We were just having this conversation in the group coaching chat. My clients are fixing bed squeaks. They're fixing plumbing leaks, or at the very least, turning off the water valves to the whole house. I digress, but my point is you do a lot. You can handle a lot. We want you on our team when there's a crisis. The cost to this is that these same traits that get you the promotions, the accolades, the praise, they are killing your intimacy. By thinking for everyone, doing the mental gymnastics. Did I say the right thing? Oh, I need to wait to have this conversation. The overfunctioning in all areas. You perform instead of receive. And when it comes to sex, you're in your head, not your body. Most women that I work with do not have a libido problem. They have a pleasure problem. Pleasure mastery. They missed that day in school. I'm just kidding because there was no day in school that taught about pleasure-centered sex and relationship. That's why I'm here. So you've mastered quarterly reports, market strategy, PTA bake sale, juggling all the things. Maybe we're getting our house manager to do some of it. But no one ever told you to explore And let's face it, like, we don't want to just explore. No one ever told you how to master your own pleasure until now. I would go as far as saying that fingering is officially having a cultural moment. Okay, it's not just me saying that. Mainstream media is even highlighting it, and I have some examples. So that delicious, slow, intense fingering scene in the Bridgerton carriage, I didn't even watch the episode, but two of my clients sent it to me because they know that I am a proponent of manual stimulation. Baby Girl, the viral audio, it's soft, sensual, emotionally tuned in. What all of you listening are secretly craving. And fingering's kind of having a rebrand as like modern sexual wellness, spotlighting female pleasure as something worth talking about and something worth doing. Okay. And so this is pleasure centered. And I'm going to get into why. So, high achievers, you know who is statistically having better sex than most of you? Okay, so who is having the best sex? Single women, childless women, women in same sex relationships. So basically, like everyone, but not my audience. Okay, don't shoot the messenger here. This is science. And I would like to remind you all that I have a pre-med degree where I actually took multiple research methods courses and learned to read and evaluate research articles. Your influencer or mompreneur might not have that ability when they are regurgitating facts and research. So younger generations of women are leading the way in prioritizing fingering as central, not secondary to sex. It's not just foreplay anymore. It can be the main event. I talk about this in my book, The Pink Canary, where I'm teaching that the script that we were given for sex and intimacy is unacceptable. And so I know you. You're like me. You like quality in everything, even sex. So I'm going to give you some better sexual health education on fingering. Okay, what we were taught is very penis centered, very male centered. Okay, it's not pleasure centered. Pleasure centered, pleasurable for both parties. Okay, because for so long, P and V sex has been the goal. Mutual orgasm is the goal. It's shown on so much media that we subconsciously think that's what we're supposed to do. That's how we get into this checkbox sex scenario. But that goal leaves women's pleasure out of the equation, especially high achieving women whose nervous systems are already on overdrive and our pleasure centers are off. Would like to bring your attention to the fact that 2/3 of women do not reliably orgasm from penetration alone. So over half of women need clitoral stimulation to orgasm for sex to be more pleasurable. Fingering, when done well, with knowledge of female arousal and anatomy, can become an invitation back into the body, especially after a long day. It can be intimate, it can be slow, and it can create space for women's pleasure to lead for a change. It's mixing it up, novelty, part of pleasure-centered sex and relationships. Okay, this also takes the pressure off the penis. Men are stressed, depressed, can't stay hard, having their own erectile dysfunction issues. So adding in more fingering, adding in more manual stimulation can be a relief for both parties. Okay, benefits. Let's talk about the benefits of fingering. Increase intimacy and depth in your sexual experience. So the focus is on connection and receiving, not performance. 90% of my clients perform intimacy. They don't even know what receiving is. They've never had sex that way. And when you start, it's amazing for you and your partner. With manual stimulation, there's more control, more sensitivity. You get to guide, adjust, pause, actually feel. Fingers can do things that penises cannot. Better orgasms, especially for those of you that don't orgasm from penetration alone. The G-spot, the clitoral urethral complex can be very well stimulated through fingers, and not so much through jackhammer in and out penetration. I'm thinking of that Sex and the City episode where Carrie is a bridesmaid and she's has like a neck spasm from the jackhammer sex she'd had the night before. If you want more information on my pleasure-centered anatomy, finding your G-spot, the clitoral urethral complex, and nerves, episode 102 of the Pleasure Principles podcast. Check it out. Okay, so there's less pressure with manual stimulation. It removes goal sex, mutual orgasm mentality. It's not a race, it's reverence. And let's be clear, it is a reverence for my pussy or nothing. Okay, because if the sex doesn't start with a deep exhale and end with your legs shaking, we need to talk. Women want sex that is good for them, period. And I'm going to say that again. Women want sex that is good for them, period. Men listening, you definitely need to hear this, but even the women, right? My high achievers, sex is a reward system. The more good sex you have, the more good sex you want. So my mantra, my group's mantra, my personal mantra is one orgasm is not enough. Okay. And when I gave my group permission of this, didn't even realize, but we were at our retreat probably a year and a half ago, sitting by the pool together. And I'm like, one orgasm is like not worth it for me. Give me 3, 4. And their eyes opened with possibility. Now they all have multiple orgasms, if they so choose. But trust me, if the orgasm ratio is 3-1, that the vulva owner has 3 orgasms to every 1 orgasm that the penis owner has, there is no low libido in that situation. There is no loss of connection and desire in that situation. She will be horny for you all the time. Okay, and this is what I want every woman to know. You deserve to receive this kind of attention and pleasure without having to earn it, without feeling like you have to give something in return. You deserve it just because you are worthy. And this is the kicker. A lot of our partners would love to please us. They would love to give us 3 orgasms and say thank you very much and move on with our day. But you can't receive it. You've never been taught how. So I'm going to give you some tips. Fingering for maximum pleasure. But before I do, I need to tell you, you've been working hard to fix what was never broken. Okay, your libido, your relationship, it's been buried under burnout. The pleasure centers in your brain are off. So the attachment styles, the communication scripts, the fixing your hormones, you're trying to fix what's not broken. The Pleasure Principles group coaching is your framework for intimacy that actually works for high achieving women. Inside, we teach you how to rewire your nervous system to receive, learn the sex education that you never got, unlearn the superwoman conditioning and burnout to have you start feeling again. This is your blueprint to go from over-functioning to fully turned on, from high achiever to receiver without sacrificing your success. 10 women, 3 months, 2 group coaching calls a month led by me, and your online portal with all your trainings, your handouts, because, we are still superwomen at the end of the day. Your pleasure is not a luxury. It's the new foundation. And if you want this for yourself and your relationship, I want you to head to the show notes and sign up. We start in June. Okay, let's talk technique, because high achievers love a how-to. If you're solo, partnered, doesn't matter. Manual stimulation, we need more of it. And I always recommend trying things by yourself first. You should be your own best lover. This is yet another lie that we have been sold by Disney, where we are giving our sexual power away to other people, neurologically, physiologically. We need to learn how to explore these things for ourselves first. So the tips, number 1, explore. So before anything goes inside, spend time outside. Inner thighs, stomach, hips. especially the clitoris. Okay, so we can use fingers, tips like the palm of our hand. I want you to think that this is not a routine, it's a ritual. Pleasure rituals. Okay, how do you seduce yourself? Do you know how your thighs like to be touched? Do you know how your labia likes to be touched? And does this change depending on your stress level, depending on your cycle? Explore, find these things out. How are you supposed to tell your partner what you like, what feels good, doesn't feel good? Okay. And putting that on him doesn't feel good either. Like they're exhausted. They want to please you. So when you have this data and information, then what the two of you can create together is so much better. Okay. And invite them to explore. Set a 10-minute timer. Tell them to explore your body only using their hands. Number 2, use lube. Fingers do not self-lubricate. Adding a high-quality, body-safe lube to enhance sensation, protect your sensitive tissue. Okay, we can't go wrong. Lube, lube, lube. I created a lube guide. The link is in the show notes for more information because this is nuanced. Tip number 3, go slow. Speed kills sensation. Depth, turn on arousal, openness comes from slowness, comes from intention. A well-placed buildup is infinitely hotter than rushing to climax. It's like why finger blasting to me sounds horrific. Okay, we can use a come hither motion to stimulate the G-spot slowly and rhythmically, like I told you, episode 102. Okay, we want to respond to cues. So if you're exploring by yourself, what feels good? What's like, ooh, I'll have more of that, or no, thank you. Let's move on to something else. Men respond to her cues, her moans, her breath, her eye contact, her body movement. Watch and respond. This is what creates connection. Number 5, try different types of stimulation. Okay, we can combine clitoral stimulation with internal stimulation for next level orgasms. Sometimes this is called a blended orgasm because it's the G-spot and the clitoris. I don't like to label it because it gets us in our head even more, trying to check the box, do the right thing, when it's all it's the same nerves anyway. One hand can stimulate the clit while the other explores the G-spot. So your challenge, high achievers, is to try external manual stimulation. Do it this week. Stop making pleasure your last priority. Stop performing, start receiving. And if you want to know how to massively transform things for you, for your pleasure, for your partnership, then head to the show notes, join my 3-month group coaching program. You will learn pleasure mastery in a framework that will help you reclaim your feminine energy, stop performing for connection, be able to ask for what you need, and finally receive, finally feel held without having to hold it all. I promise this will be the best thing that you do for your pleasure and your relationship if my work speaks to you. This is 2 calls a month. 2 calls a month, high achievers. A little bit of work this is going to require you, like not even an hour a week. So don't tell me time is an excuse. Don't tell me money is an excuse, because this is the cheapest way to work with me, the most cost-effective way to work with me in years. And your return on investment is going to be multiple orgasms. But no, your return on investment is going to be pleasure mastery and reconnecting your relationship. So make pleasure a priority. Head to the show notes, sign up. Don't wait, because I'm only taking 10 of you. So go ahead, try these tips, and feel free to send me a DM on Instagram and let me know how it goes.